Y bueno, amigas, amigos de Activa TV, hoy tengo un invitado de lujo, un invitado muy especial desde la ciudad de Los Ángeles, California, participante de un reality show allá en la ciudad de Los Ángeles que se llamaba Face Off, y con nosotros un maquillista profesional de efectos especiales muy especial que nos acompaña aquí en México, Graham Schofield. Graham, bienvenido.
Hey, gracias.
Thank you first of all, for this interview. Thank you for giving us a couple of minutes, and welcome to Mexico.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm loving it already here in Piedras Negras.
First of all, tell us why did you come to visit Mexico? Tell us a little about this experience that you're having these past couple of days.
Well, I traveled out here to come to the school Imagen Facial, and we're putting together a class for beginners for special effects. People want to learn how to make prosthetics.
Okay.
And you know, prosthetics is what I do, so I'm trying to put together a nice class for anybody to learn at this school.
Okay.
If they're interested, how to create prosthetics in a very simple manner.
And now I want to talk a little about the makeup. There's, you could say that there's kind of like a taboo. Sometimes when you say makeup, okay, you think about red lips and blushes and all that, and it's not really just that. When we talk about makeup, it's, for example, right now that we're talking about special effects, there's a lot of things that go on.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's all like the art of transformation.
Yes.
It's creating illusions, it's creating things that don't exist, that can live in nature and act in front of a camera. It's creating, let's say, injuries and stuff that look hyper-realistic. Mm-hmm. It's all the way up to body painting, like painting a person's complete body just to make a piece of art. So it's beyond just concealer and lipstick and stuff, even though that's totally necessary.
Yeah.
It goes far beyond.
Let's talk a little bit about Face Off. What was that like? What is it like? After 6 seasons, obviously that's a very interesting show. People have really accepted it and like it because, I mean, it's been a lot of seasons. You can tell that it has great acceptance throughout, you know, people that watch that.
Well, first of all, people most often ask, like, how do you go so fast? How do you make things so quickly?
Yeah.
And I always say the same thing.
3 days.
Yeah, in 3 days. Ultimately, it's 19 hours.
Okay.
And what I normally tell people is you never know how fast you can run until you're in front of a train.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like I like to do things that fast. It's not like we always do things that fast, but when you're asked to, before you know it, there you have it.
And a short time.
And yeah, it's like unbelievable to me that like some of the things that I made, I look back and I'm like, I can't believe I did that. But on top of all that, like the traveling we got to do, all the challenges and all the people that we got to meet, it was such an amazing experience. It's something I'll never forget for my whole life.
What was the process like before you went in? Did you get a call? Did you have to audition for that? Were you like, okay, well, bye mom and dad, bye wife, I'm gonna go into Face Off, I just got a call. What was the process like before, a couple of days before you started this?
Well, that's a good question. It kind of goes like, you do, they put out a casting call.
Okay.
And they're probably doing one right now for season 8.
Okay.
And you put in a YouTube video of yourself doing a makeup on yourself.
Okay.
All right, so you interview yourself and you apply the makeup onto yourself.
Okay.
Then, if they like the makeup that you did, they'll call you in to actually do a live makeup on yourself again. You have 2 hours to create that makeup. Okay. You have as long as you want to make all the prosthetics and everything, and then they watch you do the whole thing, they ask you about it, they record you doing it, and if they like that, then you do interviews with the producers.
Okay, so and did you get picked at that time when you did your live? When you had the 2 hours before the producers, did you get picked? They say, yeah, you're going to be part of our season 6.
Actually, no. It's another month or so of waiting and wondering like whether or not I'm actually going to make it. Did they even like what I did?
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, Corinne, she was on the season with me, and she called me when they had actually called her in.
Okay.
And that was a week before they called me.
So you thought, oh, I didn't make it.
I thought, all right, well, I'll just root for Corinne. That's okay. You know, that's great because I don't have to go through all that stress. And that's kind of what I thought. And then a week later they call me and I was like, well, I guess that's not the case.
We're going to be partners.
Yeah, now we're going to be partners.
Let's talk about the experience while you're doing the show. It's obviously weeks long. You have to live in a house. We've talked about that before, that you have to be in this process. Well, you just pretty much live in a house and you are working, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the whole process of all the thoughts that go into your mind. You know, you have to do a lot of things. You have to be thinking, well, I'm away from family. I'm not communicating with anybody. I have to be just dedicated to the show and to what's going on. Let's talk a little about that.
Well, it is kind of strange, you know. It's like going off to summer camp, but you can't communicate with anybody. They don't let you call. You can't use the computers. You can't watch TV. You can't read the news. You're just in this little bubble that they want you to just stay focused and only think about makeup and your next designs and all that. So yeah, you're worrying about like, oh, what's happening with my wife? You know, of course I miss her and all that, but you're so wrapped up in everything, and I think they organized it that way so that you're just, that's what you care about,
right?
You know, and there are moments you're so wound up in it. Like in the room that I was sleeping in, I had like about 6 other people in there. I was sleeping next to George Schminke, and he snores, right? Really loud, really loud. And he would wake me up in the middle of the night with his snoring. And if you wake up in the middle of the night inside the face-off house, then you just start thinking about makeup.
Yeah.
So it's another hour of you trying to go to sleep while you're thinking about, all right, I'm going to glue it down like this, and I'm going to put a bald cap on, and what color am I going to put?
Because you can't work on anything while you're in the house, right?
Yeah, that's right. You're not allowed to work on anything until you're in the shop.
Okay. Okay, that's important because you have no advantage.
No.
You know, you only have time once. We saw that in the show that, you know, everybody's like running into the shop. You want to get as much time as you want. We talked about food before. Food is also an important step or an important process because sometimes you're such in a hurry, you don't even know what you're eating.
Oh yeah, that's very true. They set up lunch, right, while the challenges are going on.
While you're on the shop. Yeah,
while I'm in the shop, they set up the lunch, and they go, the lunch is there. If you want to go eat it, you can, but it's part of your time. So time's clicking away. So maybe just run outside, just put whatever's out there on a plate, and then just eat it, and then run back in.
And they're like, okay, what did you eat?
Yeah, I don't know. It was good, I think.
What was the workload before face-off and after face-off?
You mean as far as how often I work?
Yeah, how often did you get to work?
Well, you know, I've gotten that question a lot, and I have a lot of work before face-off because I've been a makeup artist for about 8, almost 9 years.
Okay.
So I've kept myself pretty busy. But after the show, there's so much exposure just goes out across, you know, the whole world that people start calling you. Maybe they just want, like, you know, a mask made by you. Maybe people, like here, they wanted me just because they had seen me on TV and they liked my work. So it really
give classes, right?
Yeah.
Because you also give classes on your spare time, right?
I do. I teach people in my spare time. Whenever I'm not working on a film or on my own stuff, I try to find schools and try to educate people because it's one of my things that I've gotten kind of good at and I enjoy talking about.
Okay, yeah, that's also important. So has it changed ever since you left Face Off? They say, okay, well, I guess I'm working now more. I guess I got more hours. I'm making more trips.
Yes.
Is that a reality?
Definitely. For myself, definitely. I've traveled here. I just got back from Hawaii. I will be going to Wisconsin in 2 weeks.
I got a couple of movies here that you work for and a couple of series. Because it hasn't just been Face Off, it hasn't just only been a couple of makeup. You've done The Midnight Meat Train, you've done Untraceable, It's in the Blood in 2012, The Hills Run Red in 2009. Now, all of these movies and most of the things that I've seen here, they all have to do with blood, terror, murder.
Yeah.
Like, probably except maybe Untraceable. I saw Untraceable. That's a good movie. Not a whole lot of, I guess, well, kind of, but not as much as probably The Hills Run Red.
Definitely not, because nothing's running red in that movie. But
it's got a lot of guys murder, but most of the movies that you work with, series that you work with, it's got some of this in it, right?
Yeah, it's. I don't mind. That's kind of my personality. Yeah. I started like loving horror movies and Halloween and stuff like that. So it's like kind of the avenue I've kind of went towards was the really scary and dark and and creepy things. It's something that I enjoy because that gives a strong reaction from people.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's a fun reaction. You know, it's fun to know that you can cause that in people. But you know, there's a lot of other avenues that I want to start going towards because that satisfied a lot for me as a person who loves horror movies, working on a lot of them, you know, having my name in the credits for a lot of scary movies that cause that kind of reaction. And I feel like now in my career I'm going to start steering it towards more illusion-based makeups like age and character change.
Okay, and that's something you want to get into later on in your career?
Yeah, I want to get better at stuff because, you know, there is a stigma that comes with some special effects makeup artists where it is like, oh, you throw blood around or you make monsters, right? But there's so much more.
You want to be versatile, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, let's talk a little about your visit here to Mexico. Is this your first time?
Yeah, I would say it. I've been to Cabo and I've been to Tijuana.
But kind of like vacation things, this kind of...
Yeah, just dropping by. But this is like the first time I've gotten to really, you know,
and how do you like Mexico and Piedras Negras and everything, all the culture around here? I mean, obviously it's different with all the food and all the everything that's around here. How have you taken that in?
Well, I gotta say I really love it. I love traveling. The culture, like you mentioned, is it's real rich here. You know, it's very evident on the streets and the way that the whole place is put together. And the food is really good. The people are all very lovely and very nice. So I'm having a great time. I appreciate Mexico, and I'd definitely come back.
Perfect. Well, we'd love to have you back as well. I have this little playing game that I call Up Close and Personal. So I want you to answer a couple of questions for me that I thought about before we started the interview.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Do I need to get closer?
No, you just need to answer it.
All right.
Favorite food?
Chimichangas.
Chimichangas, Mexican food.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you could come back as an animal, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Right off the top of my head, a shark.
Shark, why shark?
Because I'm going around doing whatever I want, eating whatever I want, no one's stopping me.
And you're the leader.
I'm the leader. I'm all by myself, just eating things.
Favorite superhero and why?
Spider-Man. I just always love the struggle of Spider-Man. The fact that a little kid, like a teenager, gets like superpowers and has to start saving people with them. I love that.
I love this one. This is probably going to be the first one. What is the meanest thing someone has ever said to you during work?
The meanest thing someone's ever said to me during work. Oh man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I think this is amazing.
Okay, I'll sort of change to the way that happened because I was working at a prop house, and the guy who was in charge of me, I don't know, he had some sort of a inferiority complex.
Okay.
So I was sitting there and I was creating a skull, and he came up and told me not to make the skull that way. And I said, all right, sorry, boss. And he says, don't talk to me like that. And he grabbed the skull and ripped it apart and threw it down at my feet.
So not a mean thing. This is worse.
That's like that's the meanest thing ever done to me.
Done to me, not said.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when people say something, especially let's say during work, well, obviously it bothers you or it hurts or it puts you in a bad mood. But something like that.
Someone's ripping your skull apart. It's like a really mean thing.
Yeah, it's like I guess erasing your research paper or.
Yeah, it's something like that. But I did quit that job by yelling at him. I said, no one throws skulls at me. And I left right then.
All right, next question. Biggest pet peeve. What could you not stand someone do to you?
Let's see. I don't think I can stand when a person asks me up close and personal questions. I'm just kidding. I'd say a personal pet peeve is when people can't keep their opinions that might be like volatile to themselves.
Okay.
Like first meeting somebody, you don't need to know all their opinions on life. And right off the bat, that gives me a bad taste.
Yeah, I guess. And since you're in front of cameras, you're traveling a lot, you probably get that quite a bit sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes somebody just will start talking and you're like, why are you telling me these things? This is not necessary right now. You're still meeting me.
We're still getting to know each other.
Yeah.
All right, I got two more. Finish this sentence. I can't leave home without... don't take a credit card.
I can't leave home without opening the door.
Oh. That's like, yeah, 'cause I have to get through the window. That's nice, okay. And last one. I would never...
Oh, I would never explode.
I would never explode.
I mean, I can't guarantee that, but I really think that's not going to happen.
You're going to keep your cool?
I'm going to keep my cool. I don't think I'll physically explode. That's what I'm thinking about.
Well, there's probably a movie that you're going to have to do something, or have you done that to somebody?
You know, I've worked on pyro teams before where we were making people or things actually explode with fire and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, Graham, thank you for your time. I appreciate you taking this time for the interview. Before we let you go and do about your business and the class that we took a couple of minutes ago, I have something here that I would love for you to sign so that we can.
Oh, really?
Keep it. Yeah. I actually have a picture. I'd like to show it to the camera. Could you tell us a little bit about this picture? This is a face-off, right?
Yeah, that's a great picture. This was the Shadow Challenge.
Okay.
I think challenge number 5.
Okay.
And I was asked to make a creature.
Okay.
And this is my version of the Boogeyman.
Okay.
So it's like
This is a girl, right?
This is a woman actually wearing this, and she has bug legs for a mouth and neck and chest, and weird, creepy insect arms.
This was a 3-day challenge?
This was a 3-day challenge, and yeah, that came directly out of my head.
Okay, well, perfect. I'm going to get you. Actually, I have to take this out of the. Here is the marker. And well, this is actually one of the brushes that you've used, right?
Yeah,
So
I used that to paint plaster, and it still has some plaster in it. I can see that.
How long did this stay on here before we could actually use this?
Well, that's never going to be used again.
All right, Graham. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you taking this time, and I hope to see you and hear from you soon. I don't want this to be the last visit you come to Mexico.
No, I mean, I've been treated so well, and I love this place so much, and I've had so much fun at this school that I'm definitely going to come back.
Thank you, Graham. You have a great day.
Well.
Amigos, amigas, regresamos al estudio. Gracias, Graham. Thank you, Graham. Y regresamos con ustedes.
Gracias.